What's up, Bulls Nation? My name is Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are unaware of the situation, the Chicago Bulls actually participated in a softball game, or at least Bulls players participated in a softball game with each other, getting some of that chemistry together and building themselves up for a big campaign in this upcoming season. And I want to discuss the importance of, everybody coming together for that, unity, building up that chemistry in that upcoming season. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls then participating in this type of events, or this type of social activity. No harm, no foul. I don't think anybody's going to be upset that they're playing a softball game with each other and just being happy to be around each other's presence. Again, teams in the NBA are very much a close, tight, it's almost like a family in many ways. Most of these guys spend more time with each other than they actually do with their families. So it's always nice that every time you see them together in one space, they're having a great time with each other. And again, it's always nice to see. But what does it mean for the Chicago Bulls heading into a big, regular season campaign, even the training camp and the preseason, and hopefully the NBA playoffs as well? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I know everything about softball. Again, I think the closest thing I've ever actually had to playing softball is a couple of things. One, obviously, in school, you eventually get to play most of the sports out there, at least one. So I have played softball in the past. I wasn't very good, and fun fact, it's not a softball related issue, but I did get hit in the head with a baseball bat once, accidentally, but we'll leave that story for another time. Either way, whatever the case may be, that's the closest thing that I know about softball. I know some of the rules, I don't know all of the rules. I was never very good at the game. It is what it is, but the Bulls players actually got the opportunity to play softball in a big tournament, or not a tournament, big stadium, my apologies, and they were able to have some fun there. There's some interviews about it. Obviously, Kobe White is an absolute troll, and again, I love his attitude. I always have loved his attitude. He's a very outgoing guy. I recommend basically go to the Chicago Bulls social media platforms. Anything that has anything to do with the Chicago Bulls, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you'll probably find it. It's actually a couple of days old now since when they actually did play. But I do think it's important for these players to kind of get on the same page very, very early and to, get accustomed to being around each other. I think this is mostly important for the newer guys on the Chicago Bulls, like the Julian Phillips. I assume he would be there. The Javon Carters were there, and Torrey Craig and those guys. If they were there, it'd be very good for those guys to get more accustomed to the Chicago Bulls and the players that are currently here. So that's obviously good to see that, the new guys are being integrated with the current guys and they're all trying to get along in one space. It's also nice to build up the chemistry. You never ever want to start a season with doubts in your mind. You never ever want to start the season feeling unprepared or feeling like you're not ready or even feeling like you're not welcomed. So in that case, when you bring all these people together and they're able to have fun in an event type of situation where it's just completely about having a good time and sharing great moments with each other, that can relate to the beginning of a training camp and a preseason as well, it means a lot in that regard. And ultimately as well, it just means a lot that these guys can just be ready and get used to each other's presence, which I've said countless times already in this video. But there were a couple of things to worry about. A couple of the Bulls players were not there. I believe Nikola Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan weren't there. The last I heard about DeMar DeRozan was that he was still training in LA. So that is something to take note. Maybe, for whatever reason, he could not attend this type of situation, and he's attending his training in LA. And I don't really know what's happening with Nikola Vucevic. Maybe he's just taking a well-earned rest from that FIBA World Cup situation and stuff of that nature. So those two players did not participate, and we'll wait and see how they can integrate with some of the newer guys as well. We'll wait and see when they return and join the rest of the team and train with the rest of the team and stuff of that nature. So yeah, let's wait and see. But again, it's not terrible to see. No one's going to be upset that the Chicago Bulls players in a event of some sort or in some sort of social activity is playing a softball game. If anyone is upset at that, I would start to question what you're actually living your life for in many ways, because there's always fun even in the most competitive environments. These guys are athletes. I'm sure they wanted to win that softball game just as much as they probably wanted to win an NBA game and stuff of that nature. So there is absolutely, in my opinion, no harm in this. In fact, I can only think of positives that come out of this situation. But when it's time to get to work, this is when your social activities will come forth into obviously training camp and getting to work there and really starting to develop a strategy, I guess, a defensive scheme, an offensive scheme, maybe starting to think about minutes, thinking about rotations, thinking about which players work well with each other. That's truly when everybody's going to have to come together and figure this thing out to the point where we are going to start winning games in this upcoming season, because that is the ultimate goal, to win games and to be as competitive as possible. Right now, there's no issue in the Bulls playing a softball game. No issue at all. Everybody looked at that. I had a couple of smiles on my face. It was just a fun experience to kind of look and say, hey, man, all these guys are back together, smiling, having a great time. Apparently, it was Zach LaVine's idea. Great. No problems with that at all. When it comes down to it, when the work needs to be put in, hopefully these experiences will force them to work harder, or allow them to work harder and put that work in for the more important thing, the biggest goal that we have, and that is to be as competitive as possible. What do you guys think? Again, this is the off season. We're talking about softball here, ladies and gentlemen. That's how quiet it has been for the Chicago Bulls, outside of every single Zach LaVine trade rumor under the sun these days. Outside of that, it's literally just the Bulls played softball. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? I miss the days where there's news to talk about. I miss the days where there are games obviously to be played, but we're not far away from it. And hopefully it'll be a good time when we get to see, more live content, more Bulls reactions, more Bulls talk, more games to watch, everything, man. I miss it all. And we're getting to that point now where I kind of, really want to see it. And hopefully it's a good time while we do get to see it. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you're new. And I will see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.